Decent start last week. I think so. For a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Actually, I totally would call it a comeback. Because we're back. Hello. Welcome. Welcome into Season 2, Episode 2 of OMO. Or overall, I guess, Episode 17. I kept going back and forth between what episode it was. Literally, right before I started recording, I was like, Episode 18? Episode 13? Episode 15? No, 17. I believe. Who knows, you know? Welcome in. Thank you for joining me here. I have a story to tell before we get into some video game stuff that I'm going to relate back to video games because I have had a morning already. But we'll get to that in just a second. Talk about some game sales or whatnot. And then talk about briefly, because I'm just looking through it here, some reviews that some people aren't liking. So I've heard from our favorite website for video game news. We'll briefly touch on that. Go over everything and get you on out of here to have a great Sunday. If you're joining me on Sunday, thank you. If you're joining me any other day listening to this episode, thank you for listening. A time capsule of the week starting on April 19th, 2026. And we're not talking about what's coming tomorrow, so let's just say the Sky High episode title for STPP should be appropriate for this coming episode. Be it tomorrow, I don't know. So let me tell you this story, how my day has started. It started very early. 2 weekends in a row, for some reason, on Sunday, I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. I have no idea why. So I'm up at 4:30. I decided to just go to my living room. It's also another story that's going to involve something else very soon. And I'll explain what's been going on with that as I continue on. So I get up, just sitting down in the living room, just sitting there, chilling, watching YouTube. I'm not really wanting to play anything yet, start my day. I have my trash can right next to the couch because I'm going to, or I have already because of this, take out my trash today. Tomorrow will be trash day, so I got to take the trash out. Got to get it ready. Well, I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, listening to what I was watching on TV. And all of a sudden, I hear rattling, and I hear some scratching. And I'm just like, oh, here we go again. Because so I have been recently, and I'll admit it, having some mice issues. But it's not like a lot. It's literally, I feel like just the same 2 mice that keep getting in. And you're like, well, why don't you just kill them? Well, I tried not to. You know, I tried to give them the the humane way. I'm flustered by this. I'm flustered. The humane way of getting caught. Oh my gosh, my hair. Oh my goodness. The humane way of like catching them and taking them and putting them out. The last time I tried this, little Silk Speed, because I wanted him out of my house, so I just set him outside, but not thinking. I sat him in the area that he could get to the traps, and with the mice inside them, he takes the trap, puts it in his mouth, and takes it like a toy to his house. And if you don't know, which I don't know why you would, unless you listen to this podcast or STPP in particular, that his house is on the other side of my property. And he usually just comes up here, gets his bite to eat, gets his food, gets his lovin's and playtime, and then runs back to his little house there. So that's what he did. He saw a new toy, and he's like, "Ooh, that's mine." And he took it back, and he left it at his place. The week before, same time, around 5 o'clock, 5:30 now, I see a mouse on my bar. I'm just like, that's disgusting. I go outside, same time, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, going out to his house, trying to look to see where he has stored this little mouse trap so I can use to get him. And he doesn't hide his stuff very well. Luckily, little Silk Speed doesn't. So I was able to find it. Got back, caught him, and I made sure that mouse was taken care of 100%. I didn't kill him. I didn't. But I made sure he was taken care of 100%. Not by Silk Speed either. Silk Speed didn't kill him. Sometimes I wish, sadly, especially after this morning. So I'm still sitting on this couch. I hear this grumbling, and I know that there's a mouse in there. So I'm just like, I'm going to have the... What if I had the quick idea? What if I just quickly tried to tie this mouse up in this trash bag? I don't know how he'd let me do it. But what if I just like got up, got the trash bag really quick, just like tied it up. Now he's in here, and as long as he didn't scratch his way out, I can quickly get this thing outside. And Bob's your uncle. He is now outside in the trash can. Obviously, I'm not quick enough to do that. More ways than one, not quick enough to do that. But before I'm able to even finish the thought, before I'm even able to finish my plan, my thought of starting a plan to do this, and this is how I'm relating it to video games. That's why I'm telling this story this way. Because this becomes like a mini like C-grade horror film type scare. This little son of a gun, Super Mario 64 jumps out of the pipe, out of my trash can bag. Boing. Literally, you could put that sound effect over him jumping out of it. Lands on my side, lands on the couch. I'm going, bah! Because it's so early and I don't want to deal with this, but he just shocked me. Did not expect that coming. He lands on me in that, and I just stand up going, Mice don't particularly freak me out. If a mouse is in front of me and it's just like standing there and it's just going around like eating stuff or whatever, that doesn't bother me too much. It does not really. I've luckily gotten used to little rodents. I love guinea pigs, and guinea pigs are just big fat mice that don't have tails and have cuter faces. So a mouse doesn't bother me. What bothers me about mice is that they can freak you out of nowhere by just like zoom. By popping up, jump scaring you. They freak me out because they jump scare you. And this one not only jump scared me, but he showed his athleticism by jumping out of the trash can like a Mario 64. He jumped out of the pipe like he was going after some kind of power star. I try not to be a dirty person. Like, I need to shave. I did take a shower this morning, but I'm fat, so you do see some welts from just like the sugar intake or whatnot. And I could do better in this, that, and the other thing when it comes to like, this printer is a little dusty and whatnot, and could take better care of my teeth. Yeah, there are things that I could do better, but I don't particularly see myself as a dirty person. My house isn't that dirty. I usually throw everything away within the time that I eat everything, I'm not that bad. My house isn't cluttered up. It's not like a hoarder's nest. It's not that gross. So whenever I even talk about having mice, it kind of is a little bit embarrassing. But this thing was so funny. And I feel bad because I woke up my grandmother, my 78-year-old grandmother, who, by the way, is going to be having a birthday in about a week. So make sure to get in the comments, happy birthday to Sam, in the comments either on this episode of OMO or in the next episode. And I will bring that up next week as well. But but I don't like to talk about it, and I don't like that. But that jump in my reaction, I could recognize how funny it would be to someone on the outside. that I had to call somebody. So I called her because I figured either she's awake or she'd answer no matter what, and she did. She answered me because I don't call that early. I don't want to call her that early. I want her to sleep. You know, she deserves some rest. And I didn't want to call my dad because he's not going to answer. He's like me. If we're down and out, we're not going to get up until like time for us to naturally wake up, and God knows when that could be. Basically, we're heavy sleepers. She's a light sleeper. So she answered me, and I told this story to my grandmother. And you know those laughs that, like, it's not uncontrollable, but you laugh, and then you're trying to keep going, and there's still some, like, residual, like, like trying to continue with the story or whatnot. That's what I got. I got the initial good laugh, like she thought it was funny, and then I tried to move on and tell her some other stuff, and I could still hear in her voice, like, yes, I got laughed at my grandmother because of a little mouse that Super Mario 64 jumped out at me 5 o'clock in the morning. 2 weeks in a row now, I've had a mouse scare the living daylights out of me, but this one actually came and attacked me. Who do I sue? You know, I'm in America. Suing is like, isn't that a thing? Like, if we're in America, suing is like our jam, our bread and butter. I feel like that's turned to just being straight idiots and now, but that's not this podcast to say stuff like that. I'm just saying, though, I'm going to go after this mouse. And yeah, all jokes aside, I am going to take care of this mouse as soon as I'm done recording this. So there hopefully will not be a mouse problem next week. And if I remember, I'll let you know. Because trust me, if this is 3 weeks in a row, I'm going to cancel the podcast next week and just solely focus on getting every possible inch of this house cleaned up, mouse-free, and back to a point where I'm not embarrassed to talk about it, to even think about it. But that story was so funny, and my grandmother's reaction was so funny that I had to bring it up. You know, sometimes you have to make yourself look like an on YouTube or in life in general to, you know, get through. It's okay. Kind of little crash out I had this past week was just so many tight people. Loosen up a little bit. Good God. Can't go into that in that detail. But let's get into the video game stuff. Last time I was here, I would give you all the opportunity to hear about some PlayStation Essential free games of the month that are available. I forgot to do it last week, so this week, these are the April PlayStation games, or the April free games you can get on PlayStation if you're an Essential member. What these are basically the free games of the month that have always been a thing on PlayStation, but I still think that's a little confusing ever since they've changed PlayStation Plus from how it used to be to now this 3-tier, like, Essential, Pro, and Premium, I think. Ever since they changed it to that, it's a little more confusing. Just if you're used to how the regular tier being like PlayStation Plus, and then you can get PlayStation Now, which used to be their streaming thing, but now that's linked to PlayStation Plus, and it's just, it can be confusing. But Essential, what you get with Essential is basically that old tier of, you have PlayStation Plus and you have online play, but they'll give you free games of the month and you can keep them on that account. I've explained this before, just want to explain it again so you understand. PlayStation Plus Pro, or whatever that middle one's called, you get the games library that they have. And then Premium, you get access to cloud streaming, which you can play whether it be through your PlayStation 5, you can just stream your games, or you can play through a PlayStation Portal, you can stream, and you get access to the classic catalog. There's a few more things there that you can get as well, but those are the main beats of what makes PlayStation Plus's thing a thing anymore. So for the lower tier, the Essential one, the 3 games you get this month are Lords of the Fallen, Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered, and Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. I don't know much about Lords of the Fallen, admittedly. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 just sounds awesome. And one day I will play it. I've just been playing a lot of racing games. I'm really getting excited for Forza Horizon 6. So I'm going back playing older Forza Horizon games, finishing up the Crew Motorfest. I just got NASCAR 25 that honestly I've been on the fence about buying. I didn't want to buy it full price because that game to me is not worth $60. But I got it for like $45, so I got it a little bit off, but probably a little bit cheaper I would have been happier with. But I like the game. It's fun. It's a good base. Quick review of NASCAR 25. It's a good base, but it's definitely not like NASCAR Thunder games used to be. We're still, if they continue on the path that I hope they go on with this, we're still probably a good 2 or 3 years away from that. So I probably won't get another one of these games until there are significant updates, which I think with this one, there will be, just to get it to the point where it's really good, and then we'll see the stagnation like every other sports game out there of, season passes and all that garbage and my team or however in the hell they're going to do it with NASCAR. But they need a couple years to actually get the game in a better position. And I think there's a good base because the gameplay, really good. It needs tinkered with here and there, but it is really good. There's just online stuff. There needs to be more things to do. Presentation needs to be updated because there's still a lot of presentation from NASCAR Heat 5. It needs another couple years to really be, up there with some of the great NASCAR games, but it's got some good legs to stand on. So I hope for the best, and hopefully in the next few years I can get a good game, and hopefully not have to worry about season passes or other stupid shit that is just plaguing the video game industry. Speaking of season passes and stuff that plagues the industry now, 2K games. That was one of them, was one of the last month PlayStation free games. It was PGA Tour 2K25, along with Monster Hunter Rise. I think the mouse is like really starting to get to me. I'm like, no, I don't know what that is. PGA Tour 2K25, Monster Hunter Rise, Slime Rancher 2, and the ESO expansion Gold Road Collection were last month. So hopefully you got those, and hopefully you get these into your library before they're gone, because once the month is over and the new games are available to put in your library, these are gone forever for be free. So PlayStation users, make sure to get these in there if you're an essential one, because they will stay in your account forever as long as you're a PlayStation Plus member. So go do that. Speaking of some free games or some sales, some cheaper games, it's springtime, obviously, nearing the end of April, and we've been seeing, but oh my goodness, my hair is out of control today. Hold on. See, I am clean. I washed my hair. That's why I'm having this issue, and I'm also keeping that in, so you can hear my frustration over my clean, gorgeous hair. Yeah. Oh, now I have video with this all the time, too. That's gross. Trying to be sexy at this weight. Ugh. Anyways. It's obviously April, so we've been seeing a lot of spring sales on everything. And Xbox's ended last week. I think Steam's has ended as well. PlayStation still has like a second half of their spring sales going on. So I kind of wrote these notes out for these spring sales like a couple weeks out. Kind of write the notes at the same time so I can see what I'm doing one week, and then the next week, don't have to worry about note taking. But update it as they are, as I should, and I will. And I did. But these were or are some of the games that are on sale or were on sale. Noticeable games that are on sale on PlayStation or were on sale that were pretty decent prices. Arc Raiders were $32. since getting back into playing more games other than Minecraft and playing games in general, because whenever I first started this podcast, I was doing more interest in behind the scenes news stuff and not actually playing the games, which is stupid. And then when I did play a game, it was Minecraft. So, but with that being said, Arc Raiders was one of the big games that popped off last year, and it's not a game that I got into. Maybe one day I will, but it was $32. It might still be for a little bit on PlayStation, but like I said, some of these spring sales are ending. Madden 26 was $14. I mean, say what you will about Madden, and trust me, we should. It's all bad. If you haven't played a Madden game and you're like, why is it so bad, you know? What's the reason why so many fans are getting away from it? And you see $14. I am not going to advise you to buy it if you're on PlayStation. If you have the ability to play it on Xbox or play it on PC through Game Pass, it's on there. Try it on there and see why it's bad. But if you have $14 and you're a PlayStation user, at least if you buy the game, it's not full price. At least you can own this and you didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. You bought it for $14. I can kind of understand it, especially if you want a football game. But in that sense, I'd still, if we're going between EA games, between Madden and college football, I'd still do college football. Even though I heard 26 was definitely a step down from the first one, from 25, which is just unfortunate because I thought 25 was really good. It just needed some improvement. If they're trying to intentionally make college football worse to make Madden look better, that's an awful thing, and I hate it. But if you want to understand why so many fans are turning on Madden now and just don't care for it, then $14, I would be like, you know, try it, see for yourself. Now, it sucks because you're going to have to give EA your money and whatnot. But I can't stop you if you want it. I mean, I wanted NASCAR 25, and nothing was going to probably stop me from getting it. And when I saw that the sale was about ready to end, when I was leaning closer to not getting it, I was like, screw it. I got to get it while it's still a price I'm willing to pay. So I would recommend not. But if it's something that you want, for one reason or another, I can't tell you not to pick it up. But what I can tell you to do is pick it up at a cheaper price because it's not worth it. It's not worth $70 of your money. But $14, and if you really want to play some football, especially since there's still a few months before the new season, the new NFL season starts. I mean, we're just a couple months removed from the Super Bowl, so we still have a few months left until football starts. I can't stop you from $14. And it's not like there's another football game out there that competes with this. The only thing you have really is Retro Bowl with the NFL license if you're on Apple Arcade. And that's nothing like these. So the only other one I could recommend is college football. And if they're, like I said, if they are regressing the game to make Madden look better, that's a problem. And I have a problem with that. Space Marine 2 was $25 on PlayStation. A steal. A steal. Get it. I'm not even kidding. It's a good game. $35 for Silent Hill F. I should have got it whenever it was this price. I hope these prices are still valid, but it's also no longer... I no longer have any extra money. It's the week before payday, and I'm trying just to get to payday on Friday. So hopefully I can get there, but I think these prices end on the 22nd, which, as of this recording and posting, is 2 days away from being done. And I don't get paid until like the 24th, 25th. So I missed my opportunity. But if you have the cash and you want to play Silent Hill F, and if it's still available for $35, digital or not, digital or physical, get it. Get it. In the year of our Lord 2026, there is a new Silent Hill game that's good. Get it. Not just okay, good. And not a remaster of the best one of all time. An actual new Silent Hill game that's good. Get it. But speaking of good, in fact, speaking of legendary almost, Expedition 33 is $40. Last year's game of the year. You should get it base price. It's a game you should experience. It's a game I should experience. I should continue to experience. I haven't went back to it. But I know enough and I played enough to know that this is a special game. $40 is a steal. In fact, get it whatever price it is. It's a great game. Get it. But especially at $40, get it. There's also some physical versions available for cheaper. Particularly, I just looked through GameStop more than anything. They also included Silent Hill F, which is at $45. Hogwarts Legacy is at $30, which if you are lucky enough to grab it on PC, and if you don't mind using the Epic Store, which I don't particularly mind, a lot of people do, and I understand, sorta. But if you got it through the Epic Store and got it for free, there you go. Switch 2 versions of PGA Tour 2K25 were $45 as well. Or, I'm sorry, $40, not $45. For the Switch 2, like I said. And I think this is the big one. This is the biggest one I wanted to talk about. Because it's also really funny, in a way. You know, we talked about Battlefield 6 getting a Game of the Year award for the best audio, whatnot, and Battlefield 6 was a really good shooter. But I've been saying, like, for some reason, I think it's just because I liked the old Call of Duties, and the multiplayer I didn't think was terrible if it was just the same as every other Call of Duty multiplayer for the enhanced movement, which was brought into by Black Ops 6. But I didn't hate Black Ops 7 in terms of multiplayer. I didn't hate it in terms of gameplay. I would not play the campaign, but I liked it for what it was, which was just a bad, easy, quick turnaround from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This one's already on sale for $35. Honestly, I don't see that price going back up. Battlefield 6 just was so much better than this game that I can almost see day one buying it just in comparison. But to Black Ops 7, 35's even asking too much. Honestly, with that being said, I did have fun with Black Ops 7 playing it on Game Pass. And I'll admit, I thought about getting it for PlayStation. I can't not admit something, even though it makes me look like a hypocrite or an idiot. I'll admit it, yeah, I thought about it, because it is cheaper than $70. But at the end of the day, I cannot pull the trigger on that. I advise you not to pull the trigger on that. No pun intended, being a shooting gang, pow. Don't do that. Don't give in to a really decent deal, literally half off from the regular price, just because it's Call of Duty. Don't. I know what I said about Madden, and I can't tell you not to get it. $35 though, honestly, if you have to get it just like Madden, if you have to get it, if nothing's going to tell you otherwise, you better have some more coupons or some more ways of bringing that price down to make it below $20. $15, I can't tell you what to do with $15 in a game like that. $35, basically, I can still advise you not to pay that price for Black Ops 7. If Battlefield 6 was $35, though, I would have told you got it yesterday, okay? Because that's a really good price. But for Black Ops 7, I can't stop you from making bad purchasing decisions. I make bad purchasing decisions all the freaking time. But I can highly advise you what not to spend a lot of your money on. And if you want this bad enough, you better make sure that you can take even more money off the 35 that's already off there. And maybe you'll have, like I said, I had fun with with Call of Duty Black Ops 7 whenever I was playing on Game Pass, but I was also playing on Game Pass where I had availability of other games I wanted to play. So I had other options. For some reason, I just got on the kick of the option of Black Ops 7 for some reason. But I didn't pay full price. One of the good things about Game Pass, which I'll never hate Game Pass for it, is the fact that if you want to play a game and you're not particularly sold on it, you can just play it on Game Pass, and if you don't like it, you don't have to touch the game again. That's how stuff like this should be. Like, rent to own your own copy. But that's not how things are nowadays, which confuses the out of me. But I guess I'm old now. Aren't we all? Except for the 18-year-old that randomly stumbles across this and goes like, what's this fat unk talking about? I am not an uncle. What the f*** are you talking about? Stop trying to relate to kids, Keith. Let's move on. Heck, kids aren't even playing that many video games anymore, so let's move on to stuff that I still like, which are video games. A lot of games came out or are coming out that's got reviews this week, including Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, Pragmata, which looks interesting. I kind of want to play it, but again, I'm not really sure what it is. I need to actually, pay attention more to some gameplay or whatnot. But one game I want to highlight is Mouse PI for Hire. This looks so fun. It looks so fun. It looks so good. But of course, our favorite video game website of all time didn't really care for it that much. Gave it props here and there, but for the most part, they didn't like it. And they're getting the elbow from the top rope from a lot of people on it. Of course, I'm talking about our good friends at IGN, which I have used articles multiple times from IGN, and I appreciate them for putting articles out, but their reviews are just... There's something else, man. They gave Mouse PI for Hire a 6, an okay. This was reviewed by Will Burger. Not a U or anything. He reviewed on PC, because of course he did. Says, Mouse PI for Hire is an amusing enough FPS if you just want to blast some cartoon mice and not think about it too hard. But its haphazard marriage of noir storytelling and boomer shooter action are at odds in uncomfortable ways that weaken both aspects. I watched Moist Critical's video on this, and I agree with him with some of the points he's making on why he's just gave it a 6. This dude does not understand what this game seems to be going for here. Or maybe we're all the fools. Maybe we don't get that noir and cartoons from the 1920s and 1930s. Maybe we don't get that sometimes homages are just homages, and you need to take everything seriously. Tight. It's a game where you're being a mouse detective, shooting up a bunch of enemies or whatnot, Doom style. That looks like an old noir film that makes references and a bunch of stuff to old noir things in the style of 1920s, 1930s cartoons. Why are we trying to make this like a serious dramatic thing? A seriously dramatic game. A 6? I can look at it right now and I get like Cuphead vibes, and that automatically does not make it a 6. Now you can argue about like enemy types or whatever. You can hear more about some of the more complaints that make sense in Moist Critical's review, and you can look on the IGN review as well. Honestly, I would highly go and recommend looking at the review and making an opinion for yourself. But why are we not allowed to just have fun with a game that's supposed to be paying homage to a style? Why does it have to like be as serious as that style? Why can't we just have fun with it? We're not allowed to have fun anymore. Or maybe we are. Maybe we're allowed to have fun. But so many people's different ideas of fun are so weird. They're so, and that's what's great about us as people, you know? We can have our ideas of what makes this, that, and the other thing fun, what gives us enjoyment, which is fine. The problem here too, I think, you're giving your opinion, and I wish that that reviews from IGN would say opinions or opinion reviews or advertise or place them a little more, I don't know, not based on what the full company thinks the review is, because this review is made by this Will guy that's representing the entire company. And we've had reviews like this all the time that just like, your review represents the views of IGN based on this game. Maybe, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe if it was labeled like personal reviews or personal game reviews, or, you know, something to distinguish it, that this is what this person's opinion is of the game and does not reflect your enjoyment. But even then, saying that is like, why do you even have to say that? Honestly. So I can see both ways of looking at it. Like, why do we have to distinguish, you know, our review just because a bunch of people think it's a bad review? Because one of our employees put up a review, put time and effort into his review, and obviously, even if it was minimal, there was still time and effort in there, and put up a review. He didn't care for it much. And while a bunch of people online think his review is asinine, is insane, that's still his review, and IGN will back that up. Maybe there shouldn't be a thing on their website that says that. But at the same time, I think it would just help by saying, hey, this is an opinion of this game. It's not your opinion. You're going to think it's probably better or worse. And you can argue too, like, man, we've really made it to that point where we have to distinguish that. Well, apparently so, because no one gets it. I would not even come close to attacking this guy for just having an opinion or whatnot, but he has to realize, like, you're making a review for this company. A bunch of people look to IGN and are going to look at this review and probably not agree with it. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can discuss about IGN reviews and reviews in general when it comes to these websites that put reviews out. It's like with professional wrestling whenever Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer puts out a rating for a WWE match and it's significantly lower than what an AEW match would be, and it's just like, that's his opinion on his website. That's fine. IGN, I just think, is a little bit bigger, and you think they'd want their people to really put in the time and effort to make an opinion, because like they'll give this game that looks like to be really fun and really cute and really neat to play a 6, but like give Maddens and Call of Duties 8s and 9s year after year. You see how that looks? You see how that looks? Maybe that's the point. Maybe that is the point. I don't know. This is a discussion that it's a thing where I personally have to go, I don't know. I feel like it could go one way, but I can see both ways, and it's just, I don't know, because honestly, I don't care. I don't care. If you enjoy the game, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But when it comes to this review from this guy on a big site like IGN, I do believe that taking into account that there's going to be some criticism from you if you say things that just don't really make sense. Maybe you should pass. Maybe you should pass by your reasonings towards people around work and see what they think or see what they say. I understand, like, saying it with your chest and saying your opinion because it's yours. You're obviously allowed to have that opinion or whatnot, but you're bringing that out there to the world on a site many people go to for news and reviews and stuff to make purchasing a little bit easier for them. And you're already getting this much backlash. You see what the game is, and you see if you don't understand like that, then that's fine. Go. You see where I'm conflicted, because it's literally an argument of like, should this person have a right to say this about this video game because everyone's going to get off it? Well, obviously, yes. Obviously. But if it's this asinine and this bad of a review, like, should there be something that says, like, this is one person's opinion, you know? This is not going to justify, or this isn't going to be your opinion, you're going to like it. Should that? No, not really. But yes, because you're going to get, like, moist critical reviews that say, like, I don't understand, and this is that and the other thing. Because I'm with critical. I don't understand his reasonings of this review being, like, too silly and trying to take it too seriously. And it's too violent. It's a cartoon. I don't know. I would definitely make your opinion that if anything else that I'm talking to you about here right now it is important to have your opinion. I'm shaking my table everywhere. It is important to have your own opinion and don't base it off of someone else's thoughts on a game. To me, this game looks cute. It looks fun. It looks really cool. I love the art style. I love that it's a shooter and that the corny jokes might be a little bit overdone. I've heard many of those cheese jokes. I know that's the big thing on this thing too, is cheese jokes. Why there's so many cheese jokes? But it looks fun. It looks like something I'd really highly like. But it's okay to not have your opinions. Or, I'm sorry. It's okay to have your opinions not match up to what a lot of people are saying. I'm just bringing up the question. That's perfectly fine. But should there be a little bit more to either protect the person that's making the review or protecting the company? I don't know. From the backlash that might come from people online that are saying, like, oh, this is a terrible review or whatnot, you know? just trying to bring up a discussion point. But again, I don't know where I'd go in terms of where I'd look at that. I'll be the first to say I don't know. I feel like I'm pulling a boogie here. Pulling a boogie 2988 here. I don't know. I just know this game looks fun to me, and I think personally this guy's review missed the mark big time. But he's allowed to do it. IGN's okay with it. Whatever. Who cares? Just know that people are going to at you and get mad at you for it. And if the company doesn't care, if you don't care, as long as you're making your money and you're living your dream and you're doing your journalistic duty by trying to give your opinion on something that comes out to try to help others, as long as that's the whole point, you're doing fine. But if it's something that becomes a problem, that becomes more of a problem, and it's not like this is the first IGN review that's been bad that people have crapped on the reviewer for. It's not even close to the first one. Just the more recent one, just the newest one. But if that becomes a problem, it's not becomes, but if that is a problem, should it be a problem that's even addressed? I don't know. Now, that person might have given Mouse PI a 6, but they also gave Pragmata an 8. You can also say it's from Capcom, so it's a bigger studio or whatnot. But I have seen interesting things about Pragmata, but I still have no idea what it is. Like I said, right before I went on the I don't know rant of Mouse PI, which I know people are going to look at it and just be like, you didn't make a point. I know, because I don't know. I'm just kind of talking in circles, trying to say things are coming out of my head with that. But whatever. I'm not going back. Stop going back to the thing you're just going to loop yourself in. Stop it. You want to make this under an hour, you're not doing a good job. But with Tamagotchi Life, they gave it a 7. They gave the new Tamagotchi Life a 7. So even with Nintendo, they're not giving that much of a boost in terms of these big ones. So maybe Mouse PI does deserve a 6. Maybe I play it and I'm just like, okay, maybe I see what he's saying. Just outside looking in, looks fun. Look at the game, you know. If anything, stuff like this makes me at least want to try the game out. If one thing is for sure, that like publicity, whether bad or good, is actually a good thing. So for the game itself, while IGN might be taking some flack from this particular review, I really want to try out this game more now than any time beforehand. It already looked like a game I'd want to try, but now because I've heard someone say it's bad from a reputable source, even though it doesn't look bad, I kind of want to make sure that that's valid. So I kind of have to give them props. At least it's brought attention to the game more. It sucks for IGN that they're always the bullet sponge, but to be fair, it's like, if they don't care, then, you know, if they don't care, if it gets more eyes on the games, then that's a good thing. But at the same time, go back to that discussion, which I will need to stop right now. Sorry. Let's just get off that website. Let's just get off IGN. Let's just wrap everything up. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to me loop for like 20, 25 minutes on that I don't know situation. I understand. I get it. I understand, and I will pull out I'm pulling the boogie card right there in terms of probably sitting on the fence with that one. Luckily, I am no way else other than with that particular topic sitting on the fence and my size anyway, like that monster. Luckily. Also, side note, does anybody find, even if they are not like great, guys like Boogie just interesting? Even from whenever he was, like, the Mr. Rogers. This isn't the time or place to bring that up. This is a video game thing. But he is video game related, sort of. Not anymore, but was. Kind of interesting. Like, the downfall of Boogie has just been crazy. And knowing that he's doing everything on purpose is just very intriguing. I'm definitely not alone, but it's one of those things that whenever it was getting big time, a couple years ago, I was definitely like, this guy, Francis? Where have I gone? Okay, I'm wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining me here on OMO. If you want more from OMO and STPP in particular, join the Patreon page. We finally brought back STA, so I can finally start promoting STA again for the $5 tier members. I am also going to start looking into more ways of bringing STA to people to make it a little cheaper, as well as, still offer it at the price so it's not unfair to people that have been paying like $5 a month beforehand. I'm looking into ways to somehow do that, and I think I know how. It might also, though, lead to getting off of Patreon, which stinks because I've been on there for a while. But that we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, though, Patreon is still there. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So go to patreon.com/STPP Unhinged Heroes. Thank you for anybody that has joined in, and you will get your mentions on the show on STPP like always. Thank you so much. And for the $1 tier members, you still get STP uncensored, the episodes that are up. You still get your name shouted out. So thank you so much. If you would like to help this show out in particular and STPP singularly as well, but you don't want to be on Patreon, you can always use our W code, W.GG. Use the code KJX3 at checkout and get 10% off your order of anything W related. It is basically an energy drink based on coffee bean extract. And it's really good. It's got some really good flavors. And you also have different bottles and stuff you want to pick up too. Different shakers. Definitely do that. W.GG. Use code KJX3 at checkout. Do that, gamers. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you listening to me go on and on and on and on about a subject that ends up me just going, I don't know. Can we move to something else now? We have that here. Well, and we'll continue to have that here whenever it's a subject that I'm not sure where to go from there. I'm sorry. I'm on my own. I'm trying my best. Don't get mad at me. Okay, I'm out of here before I make myself even more look like an... I love each and every one of your faces. I cannot wait to see you back here next week for you to hear me and love me, hopefully, or hate me. It's fine. Just don't press the dislike button. I'm kidding. Do it, and then I can get better, hopefully. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good week. See you back next week. Once again, I love your faces. Goodbye, everybody. You know what that was? That last bit, as well as the loop of basically saying the same stuff over and over again. That's my ADHD meds kicking in. I really felt it like halfway through this episode. I'm like, oh, hello. That's what that was. 100%. I'm now going to go deal with a mouse. This is not the House of Mouse. This is the House of Keith, and the mouse is going to die. Or get released into the wild. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If you or someone you know is in crisis, call or text 988 or visit 988lifeline.org for more information. Free, confidential, 24/7.